May I request you to deliver your acceptance speech, please?
Thank you, MBA Universe. Thank you, Director Parlekar, for the recognition and everyone working behind the scenes for this Indian Management Conclave. I mean, this is a little bit overwhelming, so pardon me for my initial bout of nervousness. So would consider this as an acknowledgement of the direction I'm pursuing rather than any achievement. I'm still work in progress. In my journey so far, have many to thank, especially my super cool parents, for rearing patiently an antithesis like me, my teachers and mentors, my protective younger sister, my kick-ass friends, my incredibly talented colleagues who always make me look better than I am, my daily dose of hug, and of course, my sunshine of a daughter who lights up my life each day with hope and laughter. Okay, while speaking is existential in my profession, I must admit, speaking a 10 minutes monologue is going to be the ultimate test of my patience, and hence bear with me. I'm going to divide the onslaught or ordeal onto you into 3 palatable, well, hopefully, parts. A bit about my days with my alma mater, a bit quite vainly about myself, and a lame, non-theatrical conclusion. You can wisely decide at which part you can excuse yourself, and I promise to cheat. Needless to say, one of the reasons why I stand before you today are my 2 years with Goa Institute of Management, which we love to call GIM. In education system, when since school we have been pitched against each other and ranked, rewarded and celebrated on individual brilliance, much to the dislike of a team sports maverick like me, Goa Institute of Management was like a breath of fresh air and liberating. My first lesson was on teamwork. Don't recall a single subject or project where we were completely individually ranked or graded. Either we all did well or we didn't. We found ourselves not working just for ourselves but for the entire team. Interestingly, it is the first place where cheating, as in sharing information, was legal. It was called teamwork. On the subject of cheating, let me explain my next takeaway from campus days. I learned the importance of learning and seeking rather than merely scoring. At the outset, Professor Suma Damodaran made us realize how shallow was our fancy economic degrees with her generous sprinklings of D's and E's in our early set of quizzes, compelling us to learn through application than simply mug up theories. It was equally prestigious to get a D or an E in Professor Uday Damodaran's impromptu quizzes, which included the now legendary ET quizzes and the open book quizzes. The focus was always on learning. It never mattered whether we sought the answers on our own or in a group. More often than not, the groups proved smarter than the individuals. While speaking about our professors, another learning for me was the importance of the right mentors and guides. GIM in our times didn't boast of the kind of infrastructure that you see in the campus today. Our learning and stay was scattered between innocuous sounding places like morgue and castles, et al. Yet each student emerged as winners because of the quality of our educators, starting with Father D'Souza, Professor Suma, Professor Yudi, Professor V. Gopal, Professor C.M. Ramesh, Professor Ranjini Ramesh, Father Kashmir Raj, Professor Sujit, Professor Bando, and many, many more committed faculty members we had those days. We found ourselves immersing in every credit we picked up, and the process of learning became enjoyable and lasting. It's a habit I carry with me till today. Whenever I'm challenged with a new subject, my first attempt is to seek the right mentor who can navigate me through the unknown territories. We were around 19 women in a batch of approximately 119 students. From an attention perspective, that was incredibly favorable ratio, of course. Fortunately, all that lasted maybe a month or so at best. My first true lesson of working through diversity started in campus. Speaking on behalf of each and every one in my batch, can comfortably say that besides the usual, each of our interactions during our projects, assignments, and chats were always gender agnostic. We learned to respect each other for the intellectual merits we bring to the table. When we meet today, which is almost like more than 20 years from the day we left campus, we still feel the same level of respect, ease, and comfort in each other's presence. The other notable life lesson that I picked up in GI was our ability to manage time against all ambiguity. We were always somehow prepared to see UD post a notice for an impending quiz, which is about to come at 7 o'clock the next day in the college cafeteria at midnight. Or sit through the night, finish a project submission, which is due next day, 7 a.m., with just 7-8 hours notice. Before we knew, surprise quizzes became the new normal. In an era where, without WhatsApp or Facebook, we developed our own information dissemination mechanism to ensure that none of us were taken by surprise. We learned to divide work and prioritize, all in time to deliver the goods. Lastly, I picked lifelong relationships in those 2 years. Relationship which, when we meet, it still seems like yesterday. Relationships which stood rock solid, has stood rock solid with us as our boats rocked over so frequently in our professional and personal lives. Guess the list could go on, yet when I look back, I look at GI with utmost gratitude, as it was this institution which propelled my professional career and shaped my outlook towards it. While I understand the context of today's event, I'm not going to share with you my management lessons for success, mine or anyone else's. Given the backdrop of some extremely disheartening and sad revelations which have happened in recent times in corporate India, I'm choosing to provoke you with what keeps me on my toes rather with a sprint on my toes every day. There was a time I used to take pride in saying I'm a workaholic, that I have only two realities, my home and my work. Made no bones about the fact that in pursuit of my ambition, I have time for nothing else. My friends drifted away, my hobbies disappeared, my fitness sank to its nadir. While I was winning each race, but somehow it didn't feel right. It was a matter of time as a person I hit rock bottom, though for the outside world, I maintained my mask of command. My turning point was 10 years back when one of my mentors in a discussion at work looked up at me and said, "You look like a parched soul, devoid of any energy. Are you sick?" It was the moment when I was compelled to face my reality, naked, with no garb or pretensions, had to make a decision. It was the same time I was introduced to a life-changing philosophy of Namyo Horingeto, a vow to submit to the law of cause and effect. I pledged to transform the poison in my life to medicine, pledged to bring back diversity in my life and choices. My first step was to bring back diversity of acquaintances around me. They came in the form of rekindling my old relationship with my friends from school, college, MBA campus, especially those who have the courage and honesty to be blatantly true, speak blatantly the truth about me. Those who belong to a different world and had varied interests and choices, those who constantly challenged me. My second step was to court diversity in reading. Reading had shaped my early years, teens, my college life, yet I let it all slip in the garb of my business. It wasn't easy at the beginning to find the rhythm and discipline, however I persisted. Soliciting recommendations from friends and colleagues developed the habit of reading through 4 steps. I started spending each day reading at least 5 business newspapers, which I continue to do. About 3 hours weekly reading of nonfiction and about 3 to 4 hours of reading fiction. And most importantly, reading through traveling. I think traveling is the best form of learning that one can have. Feel it's still insufficient, yet it has significantly improved my effectiveness as a professional and made me a tad less boring. And of course, it has helped my mind become more agile, open, and most importantly, hopeful. The third step was to bring diversity in how I utilize my me time. Make conscious effort to fill my daily calendar with more color than just home and work. Mixed a healthy mix of daily routine of running, yoga, Pilates, a balanced diet, and frequent short burst travel trips to new places in India and the world with my daughter and friends. Watching world cinema and volunteering. And of course, social media to make the mix more exciting and entertaining. In summation, I still work at least 14-15 hours a day. Each day life throws up new challenges or goodies at me, yet I can look them in the eye and say, bring it on. Diversity in our choices is the real duracell of our souls, which keeps us eternally happy and hopeful of what lies ahead. In my mind, that is true success. As I see my daughter sitting in the audience today, all I want to tell her is, I don't want to know what you want to be when you grow up. All I want to know each day for the rest of my life from you is, are you happy? And hope you're making the choices that keep you happy. Thank you so very much.